Imagine a bustling market street in Jakarta, where a mother runs her tiny food stall, barely scraping by. Despite decades of international aid pouring into Indonesia, millions like her remain stuck in poverty. Why? Billions have been funneled into poor nations, yet the gap between rich and poor widens. This mystery isn't just academic, it's a ticking global time bomb. What if the solution isn't money or education, but something far more fundamental and surprising? Let's start by busting a big myth. Throwing cash at poor countries won't lift them out of poverty. But why? The answer lies in the story of an Indian car maker. Back in the early 2000s, Tata Motors, India's industrial giant, launched the Tata Indica, hoping to revolutionize the car market. Yet despite massive investments, productivity barely budged. The money was there, but without fierce pressure to compete or innovate, complacency set in. This wasn't just about Tata, it illustrated a broader truth sweeping through many developing nations. Think of capital like fuel for a car. But if you never press the gas pedal, that fuel just sits unused, sometimes even causing damage. Lewis shows that pouring funds into poor economies without a competition pedal pushes resources into inefficient ventures, bloating state enterprises or propping up failing firms instead of igniting real growth. When markets are freed and firms fight for consumers, productivity explodes. Lewis found that productivity jumps where businesses face real rivals and consumers demand better. This contest drives innovation, efficiency, and ultimately raises incomes. It's like a fitness tracker for economies. Without making them compete, they just stay on the couch. Next, let's flip the script. Poor countries think like producers, not consumers. What if empowering consumers unlocked hidden productivity? Lewis' research unveils a surprising mindset clue. Lewis dives into Lagos, Nigeria's chaotic markets, where street vendors hustle fiercely, jostling for customers with razor-thin margins. These gritty entrepreneurs innovate constantly, offering smaller portions, credit, or fresh combos, responding directly to consumer demands. Contrast this with sluggish government factories riddled with red tape. The vendors' consumer-driven tactics outperformed many state-led efforts at growth. Imagine the economy as a dance. When producers lead without listening, steps become clumsy, slow, and uncoordinated. But when consumers lead, expressing choices, preferences, and prices, they choreograph a fluid movement that optimizes every player's role. Lewis argues poor countries limit growth by treating consumers like passive recipients instead of powerful directors of economic activity. Lewis calls for policies that protect consumer rights and foster fair markets, things like eliminating monopolies, cracking down on fraud, and enabling easy product switching. This consumer focus accelerates innovation and productivity far more than education or aid programs. In short, when consumers are king, whole economies learn to dance better. Finally, let's get to the heart of Lewis's message. Competition isn't just a business buzzword, it's the secret weapon to transform poor economies. Take China's manufacturing rise over 2 decades. Lewis points out that productivity skyrocketed not simply from investment or education, but because the government gradually introduced competition between state firms, with foreign entrants, and across regions. This fierce contest forced productivity leaps that lifted hundreds of millions out of poverty, rewriting the economic playbook. Competition's magic works like a pressure cooker. That relentless heat squeezes out inefficiencies and forces businesses to optimize every step, from management to production to customer service. Without that pressure, firms settle for survival. With it, they either evolve rapidly or go extinct, creating an ecosystem humming with innovation. Yet competition must be fair. Lewis stresses consumer protection laws are vital. Without them, bigger players manipulate prices or quality, stifling true competition. Protect consumers and you protect the productivity dynamo. He flips the narrative. It's not just about helping producers, but about empowering the people who buy their goods and services. Remember that mother in Jakarta? Her survival isn't about more money or even schools. It's about markets that work, where competition inspires businesses to serve her better and where her rights as a consumer matter. The pathway out of poverty is less aid, more intense, fair competition, and consumer power. Next time you buy, think like a changemaker. Choose quality, demand fairness, and push businesses to compete. That's how prosperity starts. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.